So, good evening to all learners to this live session for the MOOCs course on design and implementation of human-computer interaction. So, this is going to be the third and last live session for this course. In this course, I will be taking on your questions. If you have any doubts regarding so I will be taking up your questions. If you have any doubts, if you have any queries, do let me know. Those must be related to the course, particularly related to the topics that have been covered. And also you may ask questions related to the exams if you have any query. Some of you may be appearing in the exam, so this is the right platform to discuss queries related to exams. Please note that I am not going to deliver any lecture, so please don't wait for me to deliver lectures. So in this live session, there will be no live lecture. Instead, I will be waiting for your queries. If you have any query, please come forward, raise it here. I will be trying to answer those queries to the best of my knowledge and abilities. So please come forward. Okay, Amal Yadav posted a query. When we will get PPTs and transcripts? So those should be made available before the exam. So I think you will not get any PPT, but transcripts will be there, and those will be posted before the exams. Amal Jadhav has another question. Important points related to exam. There is no important point as such. So the exam will cover all the topics that have been covered in this course. So I suggest that you don't be choosy. If you are appearing for the exam, try to go through all the lectures, and the questions will cover all the lectures, all the major topics. So okay, there is a third question from Naima. May I know what is the pattern of exam? Okay, the pattern will be basically objective type, so there is no descriptive type of answers. In the objective type, there will be multiple choice questions. There can be multiple select questions, short answer type questions. Okay, there is one question again from Naima. To understand an entire software development lifecycle, does a designer need to learn any programming skill? Now, this question is a bit ambiguous, I would say. Programming skill is required to develop the, the system. However, to understand the process, it is not necessary to learn the programming skill. Of course, some of the stages will require programming skill, but to get an overview of the ideas that are part of the stages, it's not mandatory to have programming skill. But if you have programming skill, if you have developed programs, then it will be easier and quicker for you to grab the ideas, vis-a-vis if you don't have any such skill. So I would not say it is mandatory, but it is preferable to have the skill. Weightage of from Amal Yadav, weightage of questions from assignments from the exam. Okay, there is a fixed weightage. Uh, right now, I don't recollect the weightage. It is fixed by NPTEL. So, so you are going to basically get that information when score sheet is given to you at the after the exam. But beforehand also, you can get that information by writing to NPTEL. Right now, I don't recollect exactly how much weightage is there for this assignment. One more question from Naima. For mobile application development, which programming skill will be helpful for a beginner programmer? Well, it depends on what kind of mobile platform you are going to use. If it is iOS based, you require one skill. If it's Android based, you require another skill. If it is Windows based, you require different type of skill. So depending on the platform, but since Android is very popular, so mostly Android app development experience using Android Studio would be helpful. Okay, there is another query from Mahavir. When we will get transcript of the course? Finalized transcripts for the course is in process for all the lectures. So there are 45 lectures. There will be 45 transcripts for those lectures. And it is under process. So some have been completed, some have pending. So before exam, I think you are going to get all the transcripts, but partial will be available by now. Plagiarized during. So one more question from Naima. During usability test, will end users with end users we need to follow guidelines? No, it is not very clear. So these guidelines are not meant. Heuristic guidelines are not meant to be followed by the users. Those are basically used to check the system. So what exactly you mean by this statement is not very clear. So if you can elaborate, I will be able to answer. For example, tell me one guideline which you think should be applicable for users to follow. Mahavir, any ebooks available for this course? Well, I am not aware of any ebooks. whatever books I have referred to, those books you can follow. But if you can get e-copies of those books, you can use those. Okay, Mahavir posted another query. How we should prepare for the short answer type of questions? Can you suggest? So there is no short, I would say. You have to carefully go through the lectures and transcripts that will be made available. So there will be actually three types of questions. Some are based on assignments, some are based on pure recall, and some are based on understanding. So I am sure that assignment based and recall based questions you will be able to answer quickly. To answer those questions, definitely you have to just go through the lectures. But those that involve you to understand the concept, apply understanding to solve problems, there probably you have to do some work. You have to understand the content of the lectures carefully and answer those questions. Again, during final usability test, what are the main points we should consider to check whether product is usable or not? I am not sure if you have gone through the final few topics. So there is one whole module devoted to empirical study where there are in-depth discussion on what to test for usability. So there are 3-4 lectures on this topic. Go through these lectures, you will get to know that test for usability, first thing we have to do is we have to frame some testable research questions, then conduct experiments, analyze data to answer those questions, or in more technical terms, to test for hypothesis. These are required to come to a conclusion about the usability of a system. Now, in details, these concepts are covered in the lectures that are part of this module on empirical usability evaluation. If I remember correctly, there are about 3 to 4 lectures devoted to this topic. So please go through them to understand in details what exactly conclude about usability of a product. I hope you got your answer. If not, please let me know. Or if you have any specific query related to those topics, that also you can discuss here. I will be happy to provide clarification. Okay, one more question came from Naima. If I am planning to set a testable research question for user, what are the things I should mind for testing? Now that actually is again a somewhat self-explanatory question. So now you have already mentioned that your goal is to set a testable research question. Now testable research question means you have to identify the dependent and independent variables. Then you have to vary the independent variables or factors. That means you have to set levels to those factors, different levels. And for those different test conditions, then you have to conduct the test, collect data for the dependent variables, and then perform statistical significance test to see if the correlation between dependent and independent variables are due to chance or due to the test condition. That is the principle behind the entire empirical study of usability. So you have to keep in mind the variables, you have to identify the variables, you have to keep in mind how many variables you can deal with, because there will be constraint on resources also. If you have too many independent variables, each having too many levels, then that will result in large number of test conditions. But whether you will be actually able to conduct so many studies, will you have access to such resources such as computers, space, any other setup requirements, or whether you are going to have access to large number of participants. All these things you have to keep in mind while designing the experiment, while identifying the variables. At the same time also, you cannot be constrained by only those considerations, because finding out true relationship is also important. So there is always a trade-off, as already explained in those lectures, particularly the trade-off between external and internal validity. Those things you have to keep in mind while designing experiments to study for usability with the end users. You are most welcome. Megha asked a question. The ebook is not available. What to do? Earlier, I got to know that the printed version is not available and e-books are available. Accordingly, I informed the publishers. But now, as you were saying, the e-book is not available. I think that is something new I am hearing. So again, what I can say is that I will inform the publishers, but others said in the previous live sessions, people said that they could procure the ebook, although the printed version was not available. So you may directly try to find it from the publisher's website if it is not available on Amazon or Flipkart. Otherwise, what I can say is that, of course, the books are always helpful to give you more knowledge as compared to what is covered in the topics in the lectures. However, to answer questions in the exams, if for some reason you are unable to get the e-books or any printed version of the books, I think you can answer the exam questions based on the coverage in the lectures as well as the lecture transcripts. Those should be sufficient. So I can say that questions are set in a way such that the answer to those questions are within the lectures rather than anything that is not covered in the lectures. Thank you, and you are most welcome. Okay, so if you have any more question, please post it here. We are reaching towards the end of the live session. So I will see for another 2-3 minutes. If there is no more question, then we'll conclude this session. Thank you. Okay, I think there is no more question. So I think we can conclude this session. So thank you very much, all of you. I hope I managed to answer your queries to your satisfaction. And those of you who will be appearing for the exam, wish you all the best. If for some reason you are unable to get a copy of the books I referred, whether printed version or e-version, you need not worry. Go through the lectures and use the transcripts. Those should be sufficient to answer all the questions that will be asked in the exam. Just to summarize, exams will be, the final examination will be of objective type, comprising of multiple choice, multiple select and short answer type questions. So this is the last live session, so there will be no more live session. So I hope you learned the topics that were covered in the course and you will be able to apply those in practice. That's all from my side. Thank you and goodbye. If you have any more queries, you are always free to drop me a mail. So I will answer those through mail only. Thank you and goodbye. Wish you all the best.